This is painstaking work here, and it takes a little bit of, you don't want your nerves to be shot when you're trying to do this part. Okay, I believe that's good enough. Let's see if y'all can. Let me hold this. See if y'all can see it. There's his eye, and it's brilliant blue. Now I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to come back and put the black pupil, the whole of the eye, in this in just a minute. I see a little bit more I need to do here. Okay. Let that dry just a minute. It doesn't take long. This stuff dries pretty quick. While I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to take a small brush, and I'm going to come back into this white that we used on the beard. I'm going to come right up here, and I'm going to paint his eyebrows. And I want this to be pretty thin so that it'll run down in the V grooves that I cut with my V tool there. You can see what I'm doing there. Very carefully, using a very small brush. Same brush that I just got through using to paint the eyeball. Excuse me just a minute here. Okay. Get over here and paint the other side. And here again, this is one of those deals. You may have to paint this twice. And I hope you can see that it's making the eyelash, or excuse me, the eyebrows stand out. There he goes. Okay. I think I probably will come back and dry brush some white, pure white down here on this beard to give it a little bit better contrast before I'm done with it. Alright, now I'm going to come back and take some pure black. Not very much, just a little bitty drop, and I'm going to paint those, well, okay, time out, my black's dead, I'm going to have to go get some. Okay, I'm back, had to go get some black. Boy, I hate that when that happens. Now I'm using that same small brush, and I'm just dipping the end of it in there. And then I got to put this, and this is kind of hard too, because this has got to be round, and you want to, you want to be able to see the blue around the eyeball, and it needs to be kind of even looking and round. There's one of them. Y'all gonna have to excuse me because I gotta get where I can do this. And although this light I've got set up, I hope is pretty good for you being able to see what I'm doing. It's not real good for carving. Now let me see if I can hold this up here. Excuse me, close, and I hope you can see his eyes, the blacks of his eyes. And that's pretty much it, although I'm going to let that dry a minute, and then I'm going to take a toothpick and some white, and I'm going to put a little light glint on each side. And also, one other thing I like to do, is I like to take some dark brown, this happens to be burnt umber, and I'm going to make a wash of it, and I'm going to kind of run it in the details, and it'll darken them just a little bit, and it'll make them, well, said I was. Seems like all my paints are down. Looks like it's about time for me to make a trip to Hobby Lobby and get me some paint, because all my paint's down. Although, even though that looks like it's red, it's not. Get a little bit of water, get a little bit of it, maybe. No. See if I can get a little out of here somehow. Yeah. Give me a bunch of water. That's plenty right there. And I'm going to thin that down quite a bit. I want a real thin wash. I don't want it to do much, but just kind of settle in the creases here in a minute. I want that real thin. Real thin, maybe just a little bit more. Okay. Okay, now I've thinned that down. Now I'll take this little brush, get me some of this thin down stuff, and what I'll do, and a lot of times I'll paint like the side of the face right here, and all that does is it creates a little bit of a shadow and gives the piece more definition. Also take it and run it in these cracks here, in the wrinkles. Got some wrinkles in there, and it'll just make those wrinkles show up just a little bit more, and people can see them a lot better. Just run right at the bottom of the wrinkles, like so. I hope you can see this. I hadn't even looked up to see.